What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about if we did move Jurassic downstairs, move MK and DBZ upstairs and get additional anime statues, what anime statues we'd get and how we would have to do it. Now, there's two ways you can do the Queen T-Rex, and it has to go in this room. Actually, three ways. So one is simply putting it right here, but that's a huge space hog. It would look really out of place, awkward. Not a fan of that. Typically, if you're going to put any statues here mid-room, you don't want it to stick out, be in a walkway. And obviously, there's a lot of walking space around here, but I would say it's best to not put something right here in general. Right here's one good spot. Technically, I'd want to remove this because I probably couldn't put anything right here because the T-Rex is very deep. It'd come out to like right here. So that's one choice, is putting it there. Now, here's the thing. Ideally, I do want the Queen T-Rex next to my other Jurassic statues. I mean, I don't have to, but I do prefer it. I like the way it looks right now. I think the setup upstairs looks really good how I have it. And ideally, I'd love to just keep it just like that. However, there is some difficulty in that. But let's just say right here is an example. Then you kind of have to put the remaining Jurassic right here and basically move all of this in the hallway, which I don't want to do that because these are really good statues and I love this setup. Another option is I sell life-size Endo, put Queen T-Rex right there. Then I have to get Endo life-size bust because I would no longer have the Endo life-size. So I'd have to do Endo life-size bust with, so you probably just make that display, Endo life-size bust, Endo arm, Endo 1/3, Saracana bust, and probably have to move Horror so I could put him and Liquid Chrome right there. Frankly, at that point, might as well just get Queen Arnold to put above it. Goodness. I mean, I could try to hunt that down, but nevertheless, right here would be a good spot because there's plenty of depth. And it's about as deep as that, really. That's like 44 inches deep right there. So the head would, in essence, stick out right here, which does not block the television. So, yeah, it'd in essence be as big as this. Obviously not this tall. This is 8 feet tall. So it's about 5.5 feet tall. It's about right there-ish. And then I would just keep Jurassic in the hallway how we had it before. So it wouldn't necessarily be right next to the Jurassic setup, but it would be somewhat close. But this would be an obvious spot, which, again, I don't like breaking up the Terminator, and honestly, I probably couldn't even sell this for enough to get the Endo life-size bust. It'd probably almost be easier to just break this down, because this, obviously you can remove the arms and take off this, buy a base and attach that to a base, just with no arms. It'd literally probably be easier to convert this into a bust than buy like the Sideshow for $2,500. Because I could even sell this for $2,500. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just convert this. I know I can buy that base. And this comes off right here. And so you'd basically just have to have that on top of that. And you could buy one of those bases for $300. I still don't like that. I really do like having a life-size Endo, even if I, like I have said, like that is a superior overall piece because it's more detailed, it's a better paint app, it's a better pose, it's a better base. The obvious big factor is this is bigger, but in terms of like everything else, sculpt, paint work, P1 is the king. But I still love this a ton. Like I freaking love it. In general, I do find life-size to be less detailed than 1/3. That's just how it is. Like I went to Philippines, I saw hundreds of life-size statues. And every single time, a 1/3 is more detailed. I'm not sure why that is. You would think life-size gets more detailed. Now, I have not seen a Queen life-size in person, but I have seen tons of YouTube videos. And it kind of more or less looks similar to my Queen now. So I wouldn't say, like a Queen life-size Iron Man. It's just a life-size version with the arms and everything. So I think Queen probably does it best for the life-size stuff. In general, Sideshow is very mediocre detail. Sideshow used to be great, but, they are outdated, no longer relevant, and more so boring. But anyways, Queen T-Rex can go right here, right there, and right here. Those would be the three best spots if we were to ever put it down in this room. I do like the idea of it right here. Now, I could theoretically sell Vampirella Red Sonja. And get rid of Cyclops and Anubis. And maybe, Marcus and Lyke and Jupiter. I would say, you could theoretically put Marcus and Lycan down low right here, along with you couldn't fit that full display in the 60-inch. That is definitely too much. You could fit just the Dio in a 60-inch where it would be very comfortable. And then maybe you could do a bust, the Dio and a bust, and with Selene. And then you move Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, but moving Pan's Jupiter, that's difficult as well. Like, where the frick are you going to put that? You'd probably have to sell some AVP. So you could maybe do Pan's Labyrinth like right here. And move Whore over here. And sell that setup, those two, move Wolf over there. Convert Whore over here and move Pan's back into this display to allow Underworld more or less down low with Selene and get rid of Red Sonja and Vampirella. Then you could do Queen T-Rex right there. Still, it's a lot of work and I'm sacrificing so much. So it really is a difficult thing because I do like the Jurassic setup, no doubt, upstairs. But I do think Jurassic looks better here than DBZ does. I'm not a huge fan of DBZ here just because when I'm standing here, I can't see Piccolo's head. That's a terrible angle for both of those. These have fantastic angles. That has great angles. Frieza's not bad. If I'm sitting down low, of course, I can see these better. But in general, those two look terrible. So I'm just not a huge fan of DBZ here. I know upstairs I would get it in wider, taller, more spacious shelving. So it would definitely look way, 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 way better. So I do like the idea of moving DBZ upstairs. Now, theoretically, I could just move DBZ upstairs right now with Jurassic and MK. Let me think. Honestly, I probably could fit that. Like, not doing any additional anime statues. You move DBZ on one wall, MK on another. That would definitely work in terms of, like, if we... Here's the thing. We have to think, the initial plan is to move Monsterverse upstairs. So we get Monsterverse out of this room. So from Kong all the way to King Ghidorah, you get it out. That way you can move Transformers, like everything top shelf, over here. The only thing that sucks is Shockwave is going to stick off his shelf probably 8-9 inches, which I don't like, but it is what it is. Then we can do Cave Troll right here. And Cave Troll is extremely important to me. Like, one of the most wanted statues ever. Like, I want that probably more than anything. Like, I think I'd prefer that over Wolf Predator 1/3, Alien Romulus, and frankly, any pre-order I have. Like, it's that crucial to me. I freaking love... I almost bought the custom Cave Troll so many times. I was literally like... My finger was on that send payment button to this guy a while back. Remember, I made videos about, like, should I get the Cave Troll? And I almost did. I didn't for a few reasons. One, I felt like it was a little outdated. It was a massive seam line, which was just super ugly, which I really disliked. And, I just kind of hoped Prime 1 would make one. And there's no doubt Prime 1 is substantially better in every possible way. It is even bigger. Like wider and deeper, plus it has orcs, which I think makes it even infinitely better. But yes, and then we also know Treebeard's coming, which Jupiter's cock, I'm gonna want that. That thing's gonna be as to the frickin' ceiling with 2 Merry and Pippin and orcs. It's gonna be an absolute masterpiece. Probably cost $10,000, so I have to use a commission to pay for that bad boy. But here's the thing. The two most important lines for me right now are Lord of the Rings and video games. So we definitely have to generate space. Now, I don't have to get the new Monsterverse setup. Like the Mothra with Kong vs. Scar King. I don't have to get that. I could just move this and still keep this as my Kong Monsterverse setup. And then I have a bottom shelf to display whatever else I want. And the easiest way to gain video game space is to move MK upstairs. So you could do Godzilla and Kong I mean, I also can do technically just like 2 shelves, top and bottom, and fit everything Monsterverse wise. Although I do prefer it all top shelf like this. I think this is freaking perfect. I could theoretically do MK down low. Not a huge fan of that. I'd probably have to move some of the Monsterverse down low. And then do MK one wall, Monsterverse another. Now keep in mind, we also have Wolf and Alien Romulus, which I was also kind of planning to put upstairs. Just because putting it down here is just not going to be good. I also have Alita. Or no, not Alita. Freaking Avatar Neytiri bust. I haven't technically pre-ordered it. I don't have to buy it. I could just pass on it. But I do really like it. And I think the movies are absolute masterpieces. And I think the bust is one of the better busts ever made. Without a doubt, that Neytiri, the premium version, is like a top 5 best life-size bust ever made, in my opinion. I think it tops 99% of what I own. I think there's very few busts that actually beat Neytiri. I think Wukong bust beats it, Kratos beats it, Thanos, Sauron. But very few beat that Neytiri bust. Now, theoretically, right now, I don't need additional video game space because there hasn't been announced pre-orders, but I just know what's coming. You know, a storm is coming, Flankshirt's in trouble, and unless I get off social media, we're going to have to get MK somehow out of here. Ideally, I would love this room to basically look like this throughout, where it's just like Prime 1, life-size busts all throughout, then it would be perfect. And obviously, if we, get rid of this, we could do young Kratos bust setup in here. And then, like Prime 1 Doom and all the future P1 video game statues we're going to want. And then top shelf would probably be 1/3 scale. So we know they're coming out with a bunch of 1/3. That's like a focus. And so I'd save this for like 1/3. Because ideally, half the room's going to be 1/3, other half's 1/4 top shelf. Everything down low is quarter scale. Now, DBZ, I don't think I need additional DBZ statues. Sure, I would love KD Goku vs. Frieza versus Gohan vs. Cell, Goku vs. Boo. I would love that. I would need an entire additional shelf to get that. But KD Goku vs. Vegeta, I just paid my invoice and it's going to be like express shipped to me. So I should have it actually next week. So I'm very excited to get that. Like really, really excited. I think it might become my favorite Dragon Ball Z statue. Then after that, we just have Sume Goku, which was supposed to be here like a month ago, but my retailer I pre-ordered through lied to me, saying, yeah, it's going to be here in 60 days. So I pre-ordered it, come 60 days. I have no idea where it's at, nor do I know when it's going to arrive. Really, bro? Really? Don't you hate that? You get promised something's going to ship, and then when the time comes, they have no freaking idea, and they can't give you a clue. I really, really, really dislike that. That's why I don't like pre-ordering. I prefer just to order it in stock. Unless it's like direct from Prime 1, I am so sick of pre-ordering stuff. This is just 10 years of constant delays and lies and promises not kept by so many sellers. Nevertheless, so KD Goku vs. Vegeta should be my next statue arriving. So obviously it's going to go right here. I'll have to move Broly back to the left. And I need to just see, honestly, how good it looks right there. Because I've also thought about like putting it right here. And if I did get additional DBZ, I'd probably get Goku vs. Frieza, Gohan vs. Cell, and put them all 3 right there. And then you'd also really want Goku vs. Boo and just have the 3 right there and move KD Goku vs. Vegeta back here. But yeah, like I said, I would prefer DBZ upstairs. Now, I could also, bear in mind, move just DBZ upstairs and make this video game statues. This would give me sufficient space. I mean, I could actually move MK right here. MK would work. And then we could have more video game statues here. So, but DBZ with Jurassic. And again, we got to put Prime 1 freaking Alien upstairs. Now, you could do DBZ on the left side of the wall, like the left of the bed. On the back wall where the Queen T-Rex is, you put Alien Romulus, Wolf Predator. You could move like Alita, Game of Thrones up there. That way it's like serious movies and then DBZ. That would theoretically work. You just forego Monsterverse. You could also fit Neytiri up in that setup. And then we move DBZ upstairs. And DBZ would be 2 48-inch wide and a 36. possibly even 3 48-inch wide. And that would give me much more space. I mean, as long as we could do 2, and you could do all 3 of them, 3 tiers, because of the extra 2 feet in height space up there. So you could definitely fit the additional KD dioramas. Which after those dioramas, there's like nothing else I would ever want from DBZ, because you get Goku's first Super Saiyan transformation, all 3 main saga dioramas, plus Goku vs. Vegeta. I guess the last thing I would want, honestly, is probably a KD Frieza bust if he actually makes it, but that's the thing. I asked KD about the Frieza bust, and then he said it was canceled. And then I'm like, really? You're still taking pre-orders? And then that said it was a joke, but we actually haven't seen a single update in that in almost a year. So I do think it actually was canceled. I wish he would make it, because honestly, I do want his Frieza bust, and I would want a Majin Vegeta bust. Those would be the 2 additional I would want. Frieza, Majin Vegeta. Ideally, all KD so they scale perfectly. But yeah, outside of that, there's nothing additional DBZ I would absolutely want. Like, I am fully covered. I just have to think about this, because I do like my rooms to kind of flow perfectly. So to have like anime with Jurassic kind of throws things off in the room. You should have everything kind of similar. That's why I was thinking Monsterverse upstairs would go perfect, just because it's additional giant monsters. So I mean, maybe I should just stick to my original plan and just like pass on some of the Prime 1 video game statues, or sell what I need to. But I mean, also in addition to the additional anime statues, I do like Prime 1 Attack on Titan, Prime 1 My Hero Academia, basically all the Prime 1 1/4 anime statues, almost all of them. Outside of some I just haven't seen, like Guyver, and I don't necessarily care to get Berserk statues. I have seen the Berserk anime. I don't know if I've seen it all. I watched a bunch of episodes on, I think, YouTube, and I did like it. Never read the manga, and I will never read manga. I'm not a reader, folks. I do not read. I have ADHD, and my mind starts thinking about other things, and so the moment I start reading, I just can't pay attention. I haven't read a book in 20 years. I just don't read. So that's why I like watching anime. So I wish they would have a more cohesive version of the Berserk anime, because it's like scattered throughout episodes and movies, and it's just not cohesive. Anyways, I think me getting more anime statues is, I mean, I love the idea, but also it's just like space. Unless I get another bigger house, I just don't know if it's possible. I think moving DBZ upstairs or MK upstairs would make most sense to create the most video game space. And that would mean foregoing additional Monsterverse statues. I mean, do we really need that new Monsterverse diorama? Yes, it's a great movie. I do consider it a 10 out of 10 movie. Like, I freaking loved it. I do think the statues are absolutely amazing and better than any of the anime or MK statues I own. And it'd probably be better than most of the video game statues. Not like the future ones, better than most. Anyways, folks, this is just kind of Flunkster rambling different ideas at 5 a.m. before he hits the gym and does back and abs and steam room. Then I got to set up a grill. I just bought a Ninja Flex Flame. Our old grill went to crap, so I got to set that up once I get home from the gym. Wife's going to grill up some stuff today. I'll see you in the next one, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.